These are book recommendations that I don't think I've given the hype that they deserve. Hello, my friends. My name is Michaela. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about all things thriller books. Something I find quite difficult about making YouTube videos, about making book content, is not talking about the same books all the time and sounding like a broken record. So today I have gone through books I've read and books I don't feel like I've given the love or the hype that they deserve on this YouTube channel. So I'm hoping you're going to get some like new, fresh recommendations from me, if you will. All thriller books, obviously. So no long, boring intros. Let me give you what you're actually here for, the book recommendations. Thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video. I would love it so much if you could hit the subscribe button for the best thriller book recommendations. And let's get straight into it. The first book I want to talk to you about is called The Profiler by Helen Fields. Now, when I read this, it was called Profile K. So for some reason, it's had a bit of a name change, but it's now called The Profiler, was The Profile K. This book is set in like a bit of a near future world, not quite dystopian, like could very much be a possibility. And we meet our main character, Midnight, who works for a company that analyzes job applications for companies. But the way that they do it is that they have to do like quizzes to get their personality type and then job match them to specific roles. So Midnight's job is to analyze these applications as they come in and put them in roles as she sees fit. Well, one day she gets an application that comes through, and the way that this applicant has been categorized is a profile K. Profile Ks are unheard of. They are the darkest of like people out there. Like nobody has ever been categorized as a profile K before. So at first, Midnight's like, surely this has got to be a bit of an error. Do you know what I mean? Her bosses aren't interested. They're like, no, that must absolutely be an error. But she starts digging a bit more into the applicant and finds out that he might be a very, very, very dangerous serial killer. This book is so dark. Like the first chapter of this book will leave you shooketh. Like, I don't think I was prepared for how dark this book was actually going to be. And I don't see anybody talking about it. I don't know why. It does make me wonder, like, why they changed the name from Profile K to The Profiler. Because, like, the person gets categorized as a Profile K. I would love to know. Also, we get Midnight's point of view, and we get her sister, who is called Dawn. Midnight, Dawn, get it? I didn't. I can't believe I didn't until I read the reviews, and I was like, oh yeah, Midnight, Dawn. For God's sake, Michaela. So yeah, if you're into like the kind of like John Mars, Near Future, The Passengers, The One, those kind of books, I think you will really like this. Do What Godmother Says by L.S. Stratton is a historical thriller based around art during the Harlem Renaissance. Like, I like a historical thriller, but I'm not interested in art. So when I picked this book up, I kind of went into it with an open mind, knowing it was going to be a historical like element. And I could enjoy it because of that. And oh my God, am I glad I picked this book up. We meet our main character called Shanice, who has just inherited a painting from her grandmother. And the artist of this painting was a young girl from the Harlem Renaissance era, and something dark happened around that painting. Shanice gets like a bit of a bad vibe from it. Not necessarily a bad vibe, but she wants to find more about the artist, and she finds out that the artist of this painting was took in by a woman who was quite affluent in that time, and she went by the Godmother. But after she took the artist in, Godmother went missing and nobody knew what happened to her. So Shanice is like doing a bit of digging. And then people close to Shanice start dying, and she's convinced it's connected to the painting. I feel like I did a terrible job of explaining that book. Like, I feel like I've really not sold it. This is one you're just going to have to trust me on. And I mean, look at that cover. That cover is stunning, right? Even though it is a historical thriller, it's told over dual timelines. So we get Shanice's point of view in like the here and now. And we also get the point of view of the artist during the Harlem Renaissance. And I absolutely love that. I want to say it was like around like New Orleans, and it was such a cool setting. Murder After the Night Before by Katy Brent is a feminist thriller with something to say. If you like your books that have like a message, like a meaning behind them, this is the one for you. Our main character in this book is called Molly, and she wakes up after a wild night out. Her phone's dead, she's got no idea how she got home, she's got a banging headache, and there's a strange man next to her in her bed, and she's like, Who are you? She quickly scarpers and goes about her day to work. And like I said, her phone is dead. This is a very key point. And then when she turns up in the office, everybody's like, oh my God, Molly, what did you do last night? Somebody has basically videoed Molly doing a very inappropriate thing and plastered it all over the internet. And Molly's like, my life is over. Literally, my life is over. At the same time, she's trying to contact her housemate because she was out with her housemate and being like, where are you? Like, what's going on? Because she didn't see her that morning. When she gets home, her housemate is dead in the bathtub. And like I said, Molly's got no memory of what went down whatsoever. And the police have said that her housemate died in an accident, but Molly is not convinced. Like, is it connected to the strange bloke she's got in her bed? What went on? And Molly is about to find out. I feel like this book just had something to say about women, how women are treated, how men treat women. And I bloody loved it. I did it on audio actually, and the audiobook for this was really, really good. I feel like Katy Brent's thrillers all fall like around this theme. Like one of her other books is called like How to Kill Men and Get Away with It. Like she's definitely a feminist. And yeah, this is another one that I don't see nearly enough people talking about. But it's not like a message that's being hammered home to you like in a forceful way. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's just a message. The Surf House by Lucy Clarke. If you have never read a book by Lucy Clarke, she does the best destination thrillers. Like all of her books are set in like either exotic places like Norway. This one is set in Marrakesh, Morocco. Nobody writes destination thrillers like Lucy Clarke. I feel like it takes a very talented author to be able to make you see the places that they're writing about. And Lucy Clarke absolutely smashes it every single time. In The Surf House, we meet our main character who's called B, and she is like a high-end fashion model. And she's working a shoot in Marrakesh and she's like, this just isn't it. Like, I don't want this for my life. And she throws herself in the fountain and is like, I'm off. And she takes herself off into the souks of Marrakesh on her own. Very dangerous. Do not recommend. She gets herself in a very dangerous encounter, and luckily that a woman is there to help her and get her away from it. And she's like, hey, listen, I live in the surf house. Come and seek refuge with us. Like, we'll look after you until you get yourself sorted. So she takes herself off to this surf house to have a nice little getaway when she finds out that a young girl who is the same age as her and looked scarily similar to her went missing from there a couple of years before. So she's like, is this a coincidence? Like, has this woman brought me here for an ulterior motive? What went down? And she is going to find out what happened to the missing girl when she realizes that she might also be in danger. This would be a great summer read. Like, I know it's September, like, but people are still going on holiday. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going on holiday in September. So if you are going on holiday, vacation for my overseas friends, this is one to add to your TBR. I also loved the setting of Morocco, like reading about it. I don't feel like I've read any books apart from this one actually that are set in Morocco, and it was such a cool setting, like with the souks and things. Have I ever told you how much I love Molly the Maid? Like the Maid series by Nita Prose, because Molly, from the main character from the Maid series, has my whole heart. I literally love her. I don't know if this is classed as like a cozy mystery series. Maybe it would. Maybe I was reading cozy mystery before I realized that cozy mysteries were a thing, because in this we meet our main character Molly, and she is a maid, shock, in a top hotel. I think it's in New York. I'm sure it's in New York. And something you should know about Molly is she takes her job very seriously. I don't think it's like ever expressly said that she's neurodivergent, but she was raised by her grandma and she kind of lived like a bit of a sheltered life. If you've read Strange Sally Diamond by Liz Nugent, I think her and Molly share like the same tendencies. Like, it's not like said that they're neurodivergent, but they are such quirky, amazing characters. Like a bit socially awkward. You know when people take things like quite literally? Like, that is Molly, down to a T. Well, anyway, Molly finds a dead body when she's cleaning one of the hotel rooms, and she is thrown straight into the investigation. And because she is a bit different, she is automatically suspect number one. And she's like, what do you mean? I could never murder anyone. This is a 3-book and a novella series. I've read them all. I absolutely love them all. Like, they literally have my whole heart, but mainly for Molly. Like, I feel like the plots of the book like are good. They keep my interest every single time. I think the second one is my favorite, like for the plot. But the characters in all of them, like it's so much found family, an amazing cast of characters. And the series is finished now, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna miss Molly so much. But saying that, I am excited to see like what Nita Prose is gonna come out with next, because the writing was incredible, the plot was incredible, the character development. Yes, yes, yes. Go and read The Maid and come back and tell me what you thought of it. This is your little midway reminder that if you are not subscribed and you love thriller books and like you're this far into the video, please hit the subscribe button. It literally helps me out more than you know. And if you are subscribed, please give this video a thumbs up, because like I said, it literally helps me out more than I can explain. Thank you, I appreciate you. The Night Swim by Megan Goldin is a podcast style thriller, my favourite. I absolutely love the podcast trope in thrillers, and I actually think this could be my favourite like podcast. Oh, I don't know actually. Now I'm second guessing myself. Like top 3. All right. Top 3 like podcast thrillers that I have read. In The Night Swim, we meet Rachel Crowell, and she has a very successful podcast. The first season of her podcast helped get an innocent man out of prison. So like she's automatically like risen to fame. Everybody knows who she is. Everybody loves her podcast, and everybody is like sending them their cases like, please come and have a look at this. Like, this guy's innocent, help him out. Her newest case is in a small town where a young girl who is of like high school age is accusing the swimmer, the town's top swimmer, of SA. So just know this deals with like extremely heavy topics. Like it is a very heavy thriller. So like if you need any content warnings or anything, please check them out before you pick up this book. When she gets to this small town and she's covering the case, like she's covering it live, like she's attending the courts, somebody keeps on leaving her notes on the car saying like, please help me out. My sister was killed 25 years ago and we don't ever know like who did it. Please, can you help dig into it? So we're kind of getting like past timelines, present timelines. We're dealing with 2 cases. And something I loved about this is you actually get like full length podcast episodes within it. The audiobook is the way to consume this for that reason. It's also one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to. This is another thriller book with something to say. And I think that's a theme like with books that I like. Like I like a passionate message being put across, you know? Something I will say though is don't read the sequel. Don't read the sequel, Dark Corners. I gave that book 1 star because I don't know what Megan Goldin did to Rachel Crowell, but like she literally made her a completely different character. And I was like, what the fuck have you done to her? And like the case was like about like an influencer. Like it felt very YA, especially when like you compared it to the first one and like you thought you were going to be getting something like not the same storyline obviously, but kind of like the same kind of plot. I don't know if I'm making any sense whatsoever. But like they are standalone series, so like don't let it put you off that like you don't need to read book 2. Like still read book 1. It's an amazing standalone in its own right. This wasn't supposed to be part of the video, but as I said about podcast thrillers, I thought, oh my god, like I never speak about Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, and like that was one of my favorite books from last year. Like it was in my top 10 of the year. Like I think this one is my favorite podcast thriller. I'm gonna do a video on all my podcast thriller recommendations because I've got loads. Can we take a second to like abuse the UK cover though? Because I've never seen a more ugly cover in my life as this. Why do publishers think that us in the UK like cartoon covers? Like I'm confused. Who told them that? Because honestly, like I don't know anybody who prefers this cover over the American. What? No. If I hadn't seen the American cover for this book first, I never would have bought this. Like, never in a million years would have bought it. But thankfully, I seen the US cover, and that's what piqued my interest. Our main character in Listen for the Lie is called Lucy, and she was accused of murdering her best friend. However, there's a problem. She's got amnesia. What do I love? The amnesia trope. But some people aren't convinced. People think like she is actually like hiding the fact that she killed her. She's faking the amnesia. And a podcaster starts digging into the case to try and prove that Lucy is guilty. This book is like very dark, but also very funny. If you have read this book, you will know exactly like what I mean when I say Lucy's grandma. Like, Lucy's grandma is the star of this book. Like, I literally love her. I want to reread this book just so I can read about Lucy's grandma again. I literally love her. I want to be best friends with Lucy's grandma. But like at the same time, like not only has it got like such a good cast of characters, it's funny, the plot is still really, really good. Did I do this on audio? I want to say I did. I did do it on audio. Anytime there is like that podcast theme, I do try and do it on audio because they usually make the best audiobooks. So that's a little cheeky bonus mention. That wasn't supposed to be in this video. The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I think this could be up there. I speak about none of this is true all the time, but I actually think The Family Upstairs is my favourite book from Lisa Jewell because this follows cults. What else do I love? Cults. Literally love it. If you could like define my book taste, I feel like it would be cults, podcasts, amnesia. Cults, oh my God. Somebody write a book that's about cults with a podcast and they've got amnesia. Please, I'm begging you. The Family Upstairs starts out and we meet our main character Libby as she is celebrating her 25th birthday and she has just received a very special gift from a solicitor. Libby's adopted. She's always known that she's adopted. She's been brought up that way because she was the lone survivor of a mass unaliving from a cult. Everybody else in the house was dead except her. She was a baby and she was found in her cot, and her mum and dad were the leaders of this cult. Like I said, she's just turned 25. She's received this present in the post and she has just inherited the house in Chelsea where it all took place. Would you want the house? I don't know. I mean, a house in Chelsea that's worth a few bob in it. Like, I'd take it. But what she also doesn't know is that there are people out there who have been waiting for the day that she turns 25. Lisa Jewell is just fantastic at like writing characters. But like I always feel like you should go into Lisa Jewell's books knowing that they're not like the most twistiest thrillers. They're not popcorn thrillers. They're probably not going to blow like your socks off with the twists. And I think I like to warn people about that because I feel like it's like managing your expectations, you know what I mean? And I feel like I've read so many books from Lisa Jewell now that I do expect that, but just go into it knowing that. Don't get me wrong, this book is twisty, but like they're not popcorn thrillers by like any stretch of the imagination. This book just has like, again, an amazing cast of characters. Like there is also a sequel which is called The Family Remains, and I like that one just as much as The Family Upstairs, maybe a little bit less, but I thought it was an amazing sequel considering like the book was never written with it in mind that it was going to have a sequel. I usually don't like that. Like I think like, oh, you've just cashed in on the success of the first book by making it a sequel. But Lisa Jewell smashed it with like the sequel of this. And Henry, if you know, you know. 50/50 by Steve Kavanagh is part of the Eddie Flynn series. I want to say maybe it's like book 4 or 5. I haven't read the series in order. You can read them all as standalones. Like I haven't read like 1, 2 or 3. I don't think. But 50/50 does fall as part of that series. If you've not read any of the books in this series, Steve Kavanagh is an ex-barrister. So a lot of his books centre around like legal dramas, courtroom dramas, and Something About May is I bloody love a legal thriller. The premise of this one sounds so basic, but it just worked because we meet our main character. I think her name's Alexandra. And she comes home and she finds her dad dead, like he's been stabbed. So she rings the police and is like, "Hiya, me dad's dead. Me sister's done it and she's somewhere in the house. She's literally somewhere in the house." But then at the same time, the other sister is ringing the police, saying exactly the same thing. So these two sisters are blaming each other. Which one did it? And we get the whole like courtroom drama of it. And you just don't know who to believe in this. Like, I was gaslit. Steve Kavanagh gaslit me. Like, when I was reading it, I was like, yeah, definitely her. Then, like, 20 pages later, my mind would change. Like, I got whiplash with this book. And like I said, that seems like a very basic premise, doesn't it? Like, two sisters blaming each other. Which one did it? The jury's got to decide. Do they get it right? The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz also follows a main character called Alex. I didn't plan that. This gets such bad reviews. And I don't know why. Like, I feel like this has got like a below 3.5 average rating on Goodreads. And like, that blows my mind because I thought this book was incredible. Another one of my favourite things is when books are about authors. I'm literally telling you like all of my favourite things in this video. Maybe I should do like my favorite books for like each trope. Like, so my favorite books featuring amnesia, my favorite books featuring podcasts. I've said that. Cults. Let me know if you want to see that. We meet Julia. Julia has just won the chance to go to a writing retreat with her favorite author, whose name is Rosa. She is like one of the world's most famous female horror authors out there, and she's won a chance to go to her writing retreat. Alex is a bit of a failing author, so she's seeing this as her last chance to like reboot her career and give it the go ahead. But when she gets there, she finds out that her ex-best mate is there. So that's like bad vibes straight away. And then they find out that they all need to write a book from scratch, and the winner is going to win a 7-figure publishing deal. But Rosa, the author, she's a bit unhinged. It's giving like a bit scary. Like red flags, to be honest. And then all of a sudden there's a snowstorm. Of course there's the bloody snowstorm. This one would be a great one to read at winter. And then some of the girls who were at this writer's retreat all start disappearing. I know. I don't know why this book has so much hate. Like, I literally don't. I think it's amazing. If you like this book, please let me know. And if you hated it, please tell me why. Like, I'm genuinely curious. If you're a fan of true crime, I feel like you would love What Happened to Nina by Dervla McTernan, because if you didn't tell me that this wasn't a true crime book, I wouldn't have had a clue, because it reads exactly like a true crime book. I just had to have a look what the main character's name was, and obviously it's Nina. So Nina and Simon are dating. They've just gone to Simon's parents' house in Vermont, where they're going to like stay there for a little bit. They're going to go on lots of hikes. When Simon comes home without Nina, and he's like, we had a really bad argument. Like, she left. She said she didn't want anything to do with me anymore. And her parents are like, that's not true. Nina would not do that. Like, she wouldn't just leave. So where the bloody hell is Nina? And like what we get is like the investigation. It feels like you are unpicking, like you are part of the investigation. Feels like you're a detective as you are unpicking it. And you see like both sides of the families. Like, so you see Simon's parents as they're trying to protect him. And then you also get Nina's parents who are desperate to find out what happened to their daughter. I did hear that this was based on the Gabby Petito case. And I don't know how I feel about that, because like I read about that afterwards and I thought, oh, I don't know how I feel about that, because now I think about it, they do resemble each other quite closely. And don't get me wrong, I know we all get inspiration from different places, but like when you actually read the book, it is quite similar to what happened to Gabby Petito. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. Like, I went into it not really knowing that. So probably, have I just ruined it by telling you that? Probably not. But like, I feel like I should give that as a bit of a disclaimer, because the book did get some heat because of that. Okay, this one, I am 99.9% sure I've never spoken about on my channel, and it is Hostage by Claire Mackintosh. Now, this book came out at the same time as Fallen by TJ Newman, and the premise of these books are very similar. And I feel like Hostage hasn't got the love it deserved because Fallen was so popular. That's my conspiracy theory, and I'm standing on it. In Hostage, we meet our main character called Mina. She's an air stewardess, and she is taking part in the first flight from UK to Sydney non-stop, like a 20-hour flight. She's got a husband and a daughter at home when shortly after takeoff, a passenger passes her a note and says this plane can never reach its destination. Oh, and we've got your daughter. So like, she's got to make the decision between working out how she's going to send down this plane or risking her daughter's life. So if you've read Fallen, like, I'm sure you'll see the similarities there, but I've not read Fallen, but I'm pretty sure it follows the pilot who gets like a similar kind of like scenario thrown at him. So I can't comment on how similar they both end up being, but don't sleep on Hostage, because I thought this book was incredible. I'm a massive fan of Claire Mackintosh anyway. She's so lovely. She writes amazing thriller books. And yeah, I just don't feel like this book got the hype it deserved. So I'm here to like force you all to read it. Thank you. And that is it, guys. That is the end of this video. I hope I have spoken about some books that you might not have heard me speak about before. Please let me know, because like I said, it's so hard not to sound like a bloody broken record. So yeah, I hope you find some new favourites. I hope I put some new books on your radar. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I hope you have a lovely day. Please hit the subscribe button on your way out, and I'll see you next time.